great Thanksgiving week. Certainly everybody has a lot of things to be thankful for. I know our players do. I know our program does. I know I do personally. We're certainly excited to be playing again at home. It's a special day as we honor 16 seniors on Friday in our last home game here. Last time we're in the Zips uniform, last time representing the University of Akron. I know they're getting special a place in their hearts, and as they move on in their careers after playing for the University of Akron, they'll always remember this day and how it turns out. So our sole focus this week is to be about getting good enough to win and doing the things that we've been kind of missing out on in the last couple of weeks that have kept us from winning, and sending out to seniors with a real positive memory. And the only memory that could be the most positive would be for a victory. I felt like we have improved as a team consistently since the Temple game. Even though the score of the Temple game appeared to be lopsided when you look at the bottom line in the paper and the next day, I thought we made a lot of strides in that game and pointed us towards then playing much better at Ball State and then playing much better, obviously, last week on ESPN against Miami. It was a hard-fought game, and we're just kind of missing those couple plays in these last couple games that are the difference between winning and losing. And we just got to find a way to make those couple plays to get ourselves over the proverbial hump so that we can then have the success that our players have earned through their hard work and dedication through this season. With that being said, I'll open it up for any questions.
Coach, how do you handle like senior day? You let the seniors talk to the team, or what's been your history?
We're going to do something that I've done in the past, and I do believe they've done some form of it here on Wednesday practice, which is a Thursday of game week. We'll have something called the senior hit, their last hit on the field, where they'll get a chance to say a few words to the team and then run through the team and get their last hit on the dummy before leaving the field.
Gotcha.
So we will do that tomorrow, and then prior to the game on Friday, we will adjust our warm-up, as will Buffalo, to come in the locker room earlier and come out earlier and have the seniors meet their parents or their representative that they want with them on the 50-yard line prior to the game as they get announced for the crowd, and then go back and rejoin the team and come out for the game.
When you look back on the Miami game, what do you think? I mean, just how did you think you played, or the opportunities you missed, or how do you look back on that game now that you?
Well, I look back at that game as a team that came out and played with great enthusiasm, great intensity, great effort. A team that believed they could win. A team that went after it that night. So I was really proud of our team that way. We also were a team that missed up on some opportunities to win. And the whole thing we try to do all year is to take it away and not turn it over. And we didn't have one takeaway. We turned over twice in the fourth quarter, and the last two drives of the game. So it was a game of missed opportunities. But I don't think you can watch our team play in that game and have followed us during the course of a season and not see a team that's improved, a team that's really trying to do things right, and a bunch of guys that are committed to getting this thing right. So I was proud of our team from that perspective. I don't believe in moral victories. I never have. I never will. The final measure is how you have the scoreboard. But I also believe that you can look back on games, and there's some games you're proud of how you performed, and there's other games you might not be as proud of how you performed. And I think our team could look back at the Miami game and be proud of how they performed, even though we did not come out with a victory. We certainly had some opportunities in that game, but our margin for error is not very large. And we make some errors. A team like Miami, who's now won 7 games, is able to capitalize on that. And perhaps the biggest sequence of the game, quite frankly, was the interception we threw on 2nd and 20, and then their subsequent drive that now made it a touchdown to win as opposed to a field goal to win. That exchange in the fourth quarter was probably, to me, the most important 2 series of the game as it went down.
The no huddle seems to work pretty well for him.
Yes.
Have you thought about using that more, or does it work because you only use it in certain?
That's not how we want to play the game. All right. We felt like in this instance we needed to use it to change the tempo a little bit. They were blitzing. It did work well, but we didn't score on either one of those drives either. So it did work well from getting some yards in the statistics category, but it didn't get any points on the scoreboard. So the idea is to score points, and we'll need to be better at that.
You talk about improvements, Coach. What do you see as the
the red zone
specific areas?
defense obviously was I thought excellent, and they were there 6 times. He scored 1 touchdown. We blocked a field goal, and I think he made 4 field goals. Am I right on that? Okay, so our red zone defense in Ball State, we had the same situation where we held them a couple times from the 1-yard line, okay, in order to kick field goals, which then allowed us to tie the game at the end of regulation. So I've seen that. I've seen our tackling improve, I believe, in the past few weeks. On offense, we've made some big plays, which we were missing out on during the course of the year. I mean, the throw to Jaleel on the sideline, Alex's run. We've had some things like that have been big plays for us. So I'm pleased with that aspect of it.
I know, obviously, you've got a list of things in your mind that you obviously need to improve on for next year or whatever, but the field position, I mean, you never started past your own 28 the whole game.
Field position in that game was
certainly...
certainly...
Like from the beginning, you're backed up, you
Yep.
know what I mean? And it's been that way a lot this year. And there's not much you can do in the return game now, but is that going to be a priority in the offseason?
That will be a priority among others.
Besides the touchdown runs, what does Alex Smith just on a day-to-day basis?
Well, Alex, see, what he does is he comes to practice with that same energy. He comes to practice with that same purpose. So he sets a great tone for us when we go to our teamwork. And how he practices, how he's physical in the run game during practice. So he does a really good job. He's been an excellent captain, been a good leader for our team. He's been everything you'd like a 6th-year guy to be. So we're going to miss him. And I'm glad that for him, from a health perspective, that the season has gone really well for him.
Do you expect one of the best speeches tomorrow to be from him?
Well, I would hope so. I would hope so. Sometimes the best speeches come from the guy you think the least, that you expect it the least from. Sometimes those speeches come the best.
What's Buffalo had trouble with on offense? I mean, they've scored less points than anybody in the league. I mean, what are they?
Well, they played 2 freshman quarterback. I'm sure that was a struggle for them. I mean, you watched their Bowling Green game. They moved the ball very effectively and left a lot of points on the field against Bowling Green, and was very, very impressive. And I thought they were very efficient last week with their team. But they've made a transition from a more traditional offense to a spread offense, and they've had growing pains in that, as we've made the tradition from a spread to a more traditional, and we've had some growing pains with that. So it's kind of mirror images a little bit in reverse of what's happened with both offenses this season.